Cheers.
The start of a great vacation we're going to have here.
Summer of 2024, Dewey Beach Survivor.
So let's welcome our guests to the Surviving Dewey Podcast. This is the only companion podcast for our Survivor Dewey Beach Games 2024. We're going to have live interviews with our castaways, break down strategy, talk about what's going on, and just provide some more content. Maybe even cut it into the video if that makes sense. But we're here with our first guest, the first person voted out of Survivor Dewey Beach 2023, Bill, also known as Wild Bill. He was on Ndebele last time with Susie, his wife, and Kendall, his daughter, and they swiftly got rid of him. Thank you for being on the pod.
First chance they got, yeah.
First chance. So cheers.
Happy to be here.
Welcome to the games. We have the draft tonight, so you will be divvied up onto a tribe. It's going to be Haley. It's going to be Kendall, our last two from last season.
Can I say something I learned today when we were driving down?
Yeah.
Actually, while we were in Rehoboth, Kendall was starting to talk about draft strategy in the car that I was sitting there. And she's talking to her mother, and she's talking about who is she going to take first. And I said, that was decided at Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she thought she had a draft pick. She thought she had a first-round draft pick.
I made it clear to her several times.
She didn't get it.
That she's not drafting.
No, I know.
At Christmas, for the listeners who don't know, we did a Christmas Survivor Challenge. Came down to Susie and Kendall, the final two for all the marbles, and they made a deal. Susie dropped out of the challenge. Kendall won it, and in return, Susie gets to draft her team. Right. So she's automatically locked in as the first pick. Right. When we do the draft tonight, when Nalu is up on the clock, it's Susie. Kendall doesn't get to decide, doesn't get to choose that. And then, once Susie's on the team, she drafts the rest of the tribe.
She drafts the rest of the tribe.
Yeah. And Haley, obviously the leader of Poo Teki Teki, will be doing all the drafting.
Right. I thought that was curious that Kendall didn't understand that she didn't have a. She goes, what if I'm going to get the first pick? I'm like,
yeah, I think she's buyer's remorse. I think she has buyer's remorse, given that much power over her mom, and I think it could really bite her in the ass quick.
Well, I think that's something your mother's really good at is usurping power.
Yeah, without a doubt, and she's done it already. Where do you see your draft stock?
My draft stock. I mean, when I look at the rest of the competitors, we've already had one that's not going to be able to join us this week.
Actually, yeah, that's breaking moves. I don't think a lot of people know about that. This has been leading up to is going to be an 8 castaway competition.
Right.
4 on Poo Teki Teki, 4 on Nalu. That is scrapped. I talked to medical this morning, and unfortunately, we're going to have to pull Jared from the game. He can't compete. Not a lot of people know that yet. The castaways will be informed later today. But Jared is out, and we are down to 7. Right. So we have seen an elimination just like that.
Just like that.
As a contestant, what are your thoughts? What was your initial reaction?
Well, I thought the injury might prevent him from being able to participate this year. I mean, he's had a tough year. He tried his best to recover, just couldn't do it in time. So I'm not entirely surprised. I mean, the one thing he did offer as a threat, he did actually offer a threat in general because he does have some smarts, so he can figure some things out on his own. Really strong athletically, and so in challenges that require athletic feats of strength, he could actually have been a threat. So if I'm thinking of my game,
how does this impact your game?
Well, I mean, it's just one less person that's going to kick the man.
Did you come into the game thinking that you might include him in an alliance, or was he a part of your strategy coming in at all?
Well, last year I was shell-shocked the first day. I mean, I remember being on the beach trying to get Kathy to understand how the game is actually played, and she starts whispering to everybody what everybody's talking about. And I thought, well, there we go. There's our first out.
Yeah.
And then, time passes, day passes. Apparently, I don't do the right things socially. I'm not great. At least last year, I wasn't great with the puzzles and the thinking aspect of it.
So you're kind of touching on it, but let's paint a clear picture. Why were you the first person voted off last season? What happened?
Well, when I'm away from work, And it's figurative. I let my hair down. I get to vacation. Once I get out of the driver's seat at whatever restaurant we're having lunch at, I'm known for just like losing my mind and just like no longer thinking, just sort of reacting, without any thought or just like do too much chill. And I think that's what happened last year. Although the celebration my daughter and my wife made, again, on my tribe, it hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt a little bit.
I could tell that from the video and hearing you saying it was demoralizing.
It was
To
demoralizing.
be voted off first, and then having to just watch the games unfold. But you did a great job stepping in as Jeff. How did you like that role?
I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed because you got to ham it up a little bit, and there's certain things of all our years of watching Survivor, certain survivorisms that I was able to try and bring to the game, and so that was a lot of fun. So if I go out early again this year, I'm not wanting to, but I'll offer whatever assistance I can to the production team just to play a role, just to have a part in the 2024 Dewey Beach Survivor.
Yeah, that's great, and I will say I think for me now stepping into that Jeff role, bringing that just kind of ham aspect and just good time Charlie that you did is something I'm trying to keep in mind, because I'm also trying to run the game, and I'm a little bit more serious about how I want things run. And so I think you did set a very good bar, and it's going to be a good reminder this week to just kind of have fun with things and be the host for the most kind of thing. So
Well, the production already it's tenfold of what we did last year. There was no podcast studio.
Yeah.
It was just one phone recording all the silliness and all the frolic, and so I can tell that if I become an assistant, it will be like I could fetch water, beers, drinks, things of that nature. Because I'll be drinking. That's where I would fall.
If there's drinking games, you're gonna excel, or?
I wouldn't. I can drink. It's one thing I can do, but I like the hard stuff. So, if it gets into the brain and affects the cognition early, then I don't think I'm going to be much. The fact that there's a chance that I don't get voted out first has me intrigued.
I think, having to consider a more long-term strategy this time is great. Also, for listeners and for your knowledge, if you are voted out within the first few tribal councils, you go to Redemption Island. So you have a chance to make your way back into the game. There will be a challenge later on in the week to be fully integrated back into the game. So first out is not like you experienced last time.
Okay.
So you will still be able to find advantages, give them to players in the game, or pocket them for when you come back.
What about voting?
You won't vote if you're
out. Okay.
Yeah.
So only the surviving survivors.
Yeah, you'll get your torch snuffed. You'll have to sleep outside that night. You'll be removed.
It's raining out right now, so I'm glad there's nothing tonight.
I think that would be a great addition if we did bring like a tent and the person voted out had to sleep outside that night.
Yeah, the only problem is it's really expensive to stay here for a week.
That's not worth
I don't
it.
think I could do an 85-degree humid night on the porch.
Yeah. Because Mom and Kendall voted you out, so they could have the bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I like that the Redemption Island will keep people engaged and keep people in the game. Things are shifting already now in terms of how I have to lay out the game because of Jared being gone.
Yeah.
I planned for 8, and the first challenge is going to be the biggest impact, but also how we end things with the numbers on how many people are on the jury, how many people are in the final tribal council. So there's a lot of moving parts now. I have to.
So actually, then, since there is one out, naturally,
Mhm.
the first challenge or the first night does there actually have to be someone that gets voted off?
So there was not going to be an elimination tonight. There essentially has been. Though,
because
of Jared
yeah.
being out, medevac. So there is going to be things are going to change about the number of tribal councils because of that. how many people are eliminated and when. Also, the composition of the tribes is going to have to change because it's going to be 4-on-4. I'll let everyone know during the draft tonight how that shakes up. But it's not
Someone might have to sit out.
I can't really get into it, and
Okay.
that's part of what I'll address later. But yeah, we'll have to shake things up and still make it fun and keep people involved in the game. How do you think you're gonna fare with advantages? Last year it was just idols, and it was each tribe hiding an idol for the other tribes. This year there's more advantages than just a hidden immunity idol, and I'm the one hiding all of them. So there's a little bit more of a slant in the gameplay than last year.
Well, I already know that 2 of the competitors are going to be maniacally searching for every advantage.
Yeah.
And I think that the other 4, I'll say the other 4 aren't going to be as maniacal about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I won't say match the mania of the first 2, but I will be interested, and I will do my due diligence and keep looking for whatever advantage I can find, because Lord knows I'm going to need it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you do have an advantage, how do you think you'll strategize around using them? Are you a use it or a pocket it kind of guy?
So I think the one thing that I never got to experience last year was the joy of an alliance, a true alliance.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm going to be open-minded, and if I feel like I'm in a solid alliance, if there is like this connection where it is reciprocal,
Mhm.
I think then I leave open the chance that an advantage is for my alliance. It doesn't have to just be for me.
I love that. That's how I intended to use the idol that I found last year. My plan was to get to 4 with Matt, Kendall, Haley, and myself. And then I was going to turn on the girls then, use the idol I had for Matt, tell them we're all putting the votes on Matt, make it look simple, and then I send Kendall home. But obviously that didn't work. So if I had played the idol when I had it, I would have stayed in the game. So my advice to anybody who does have an advantage is use it.
Yeah.
Because 2 people last season went home with idols in their pocket.
Yeah, I mean,
And Kendall didn't even use hers correctly. Not a single advantage was used correctly last time. She didn't get a single vote when she played. So that was a terrible move and cost her in the end.
Yeah, no, I can't. I would see any advantage as currency, burning a hole in my pocket. I don't think there'd be any way I would try to, be shifty with it and decide do I need to use it? Am I safe? Or no way. I know I'm not safe. I went out first last time.
Yeah.
No way I'm safe.
Yeah. Yeah. So you also are more inclined to use it.
Absolutely.
What sorts of challenges do you think will favor your game, and which ones do you think are going to be more challenging for you?
Well, I think this beach season this week is going to be very hot, very humid.
Extraordinarily.
So if there are physical challenges, I think that I can compete in those. Where I struggle is I don't put puzzles together very well. I don't see how things fit together. It's just not the way my brain works. So I think if there's a lot of those, then I'll have a hard time. And if that's the case, I'll already be in an alliance where I can keep my game going.
Yeah.
But there's some athletic stuff I might be able to do. But last year I didn't do so well on those, so I didn't play though.
That's true. You had one challenge, and it was the trivia that was not captured on video. That 3-hour long horrible AI trivia that we did.
Yeah.
That was awful. That was the worst challenge. And that, I mean, yeah, I see how that kind of cost you too. You didn't answer a single question wrong, and that
Right.
gave your tribe every reason to cut you loose.
Yeah.
I want to kind of get your feel for the roster for the other castaways, and so I want to play a game to kind of discuss everyone that you're going to be playing with. We're going to play heroes versus villains. I'm going to name a castaway, and I want you to sort them in heroes versus villains and explain why, and we'll kind of discuss. So we'll start with your tribe from last season. We'll start with the runner-up, Kendall, hero or villain.
I would say that Kendall is a hero because she is so thrilled to play the game. She's super competitive. She's so stoked about the game that I mean, she's wants to win. There's no doubt about that. But I don't. But I think that her investment in the game is something that is kind of on the heroic side for me.
Yeah, I can see that almost like a level that like Cochran had when he like in the real Survivor,
Yeah.
where there that level of fandom and the delight comes through the game and makes them more likely to root for. I would probably put her in the villain side, however, because of the moves that she made. She was really shrewd in her alliances. I mean, she kept a tight circle, and she eliminated her tribe when she needed to. She did really good at helping take out the entire Rileys. Even if she wasn't the architect of the move, she was a clear vote every time. And stabbing me in the back makes her a villain to me. I mean, pretty easily. I thought we were aligned, and I thought that we would have gone, at least in her mind, to the final 3 together, and she cut me loose before then, and in the most devious way possible, that blindside.
I can see why you would have that point of view.
Yeah, I think she's kind of conniving. I think she looks for idols and is, she'd use them against people with glee.
With glee.
Your other tri-mate from last season, Susie, your beautiful wife, hero or villain? This one's going to catch some backlash.
Oh, no, she's a villain.
No doubt.
I mean,
I think she wields that, too. I think she, more than almost any player in the game,
badge of honor,
wields that and owns that label.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how look what she did. She got herself in on Kendall's captaincy.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an unforeseen
power move.
That was a
huge power move.
Very much a power move.
And there's nobody who takes more pleasure in voting others out than she did. She had the best vote explanations last season.
Absolutely delight. With the glee in her eye as she explained her rationale, especially when she asked me.
Yeah, and the fury that she had when she was voted out. Nobody, aside from me, had a meltdown. She was pissed. She was, yelling all sort of obscenities at Kendall. And I think this time around, she's going to play a really rough and knives out kind of game. I think she, maybe more than anybody else, has that drive to win, really wants to cement, maybe she saw at Christmas she could get close to the end. Now I think she wants to go all the way. But she's going to be a killer to do it.
I can't tell if it's drive to win or the drive not to lose.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think she's not a competitive, like, I've got to win every game.
But is final 2 enough for her then? If it's just about not losing, is getting to the end enough? Or?
No, I don't think so. But she hates to lose. I don't know if she loves winning as much as she hates losing. Yeah. I think losing is too damning. Yeah, too bitter.
Yeah, especially when it's a vote out, when it's a social consequence.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Riley clan. Last season, they were Cathbar. And I'd say the de facto leader of that tribe was somehow Jim.
It was Jim.
So, they were all over the place with votes, but Jim made it the longest. He was clearly the most well-liked.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could say he did the best in challenges, because overall they kind of underperformed outside of the first trivia challenge. But where would you place him? Jim Riley.
I think Jim is he's in the hero category,
Mm-hmm.
And he is socially. He's just in a game like environment like here. He keeps it simple. He keeps it choice, man. It's just very laid back and choice.
Yeah,
and that's
he's the epitome of vacation.
He is. He's all about chill and relaxation and not shitting on my conversation.
And what that does, I think, better than anybody else can do is keep a target off his back. Because he's such a good time, he doesn't really appear as a threat. And also, he's not ever going to excel in the challenges. So again, his threat level is very low.
I'm not even sure he understands he's playing a game.
I would be shocked if he did. How about Kathy? Hero or villain?
I mean, I'd say Kathy's a villain because she's a lot like Susie. She hates to lose, really, really hates to lose. Again, is she like from an athletic, competitive feat? Is she I gotta win, I gotta win? I don't know, but if she's lost, she lost her mind a little bit last year.
Yeah,
She didn't understand the game to begin with, but then when she was voted out, she took it
very personal.
Supremely personal.
And that continued throughout when she was reminded. But that the overall confusion over the gameplay, I think, was her biggest problem.
Very much so.
And yeah, I think because of that, she acted like a villain. But I think who she is more in line with what you would think a survivor hero is. I think out of anybody, she's more likely to flip the switch this time around from villain to hero. Matt, what's your read on Matt, hero or villain?
I mean, he's a fly, but he's just he's coming along for the ride kind of a guy.
Yeah.
He does have the competitive, I do want to do well and I want to win. He lapses his attention and concentration sometimes, but, is it threatening, like in a villainous way? I wouldn't say that it is. So, I mean, if it's only hero villain, I'd put him in the hero category.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that too. Again, I think he leaves a lot to be desired, both from a challenge standpoint and even a social standpoint, and kind of why I had my eye on him to be in my final two last year is I think he's somebody who is good enough to get there, probably not good enough to win, but also he's not somebody who's really he's not gonna stab anybody in the back. He's not gonna make a big move against you. The most fickle, I mean, the biggest problem that I had with him last time trying to align with him was directing his votes. He is very free-minded, unfortunately, which makes it hard to strategize with him, which is why when he voted me out, was a part of the voting block to get me out, and he was like, I had no choice. It was just like, I couldn't believe he's not seeing the game.
Right.
So I think the more he gets it, the more he'll look like a hero, but I think, he's not going to do anything that's going to make him look like a villain. So he's kind of like that bumbling hero. But he's got potential. He's got a higher ceiling than most other castaways.
He does have.
So if he kicks it on in the challenges, it's a totally different game than last season.
So when you say free-minded, I don't think he was making the decision in like an alliance sort of way. He went along with the group.
But no, he would agree verbally with what we were going to do, and then what he wrote down was the opposite of what we talked about. And then he would have some crazy explanation about it that was against interest and got him where he ended up. If he had stuck with me and followed what I had said, it would have been us in the final two, not Kendall and Haley. Well, he screwed that up.
He made a huge mistake.
Huge.
Yeah, because I would think, Matt, like the Riley DNA, once you have your mind made up, you're not going to change your mind. But that's not like he was driving the decision. It's like, no, I'm going to do Joey. It just
right.
Yeah,
I think he was like Kathy. He didn't understand what was going on.
I think that's part of it too.
And I think maybe this year there's going to be more of that understanding, and that we're going to see a change in gameplay. I think just like Kathy is most likely to flip from villain to hero, he's probably most likely to flip from hero to villain.
Yeah, I could see that.
And our last castaway, the sole survivor, Dewey Beach, 2023, Haley Glenn.
Well, I would have to say, she's villainous in the sense that on the continuum of hates to lose, loves to win, she's a love to win. She has to win.
Oh, you're wrong about that. She's the most competitive person here.
Oh, no doubt.
And it's by miles.
Yeah.
And it's not about winning. It's about preventing loss.
Really?
Yeah.
But I would see her as going to do anything.
Yeah.
But to not lose or to win.
To not lose. And to win. I mean, she definitely has that do anything to win mentality. I think it is in an attempt not to lose, but I think it's combined with enough effort that it usually turns into a win.
Yeah.
And so it looks like it looks like she's got to win, but I think it's more of a can't lose. Because that's devastating. If I had blindsided her last year, she might have left.
Yeah. Just left you?
Yeah, left the whole vacation. I don't know if she would have taken that. But mean, I actually see her as very villainous. Probably the biggest villain from last season, almost like a Russell Hantz, because she was pretty much in control of the entire game and so removed from where I think the other players saw her game from being until the very end. And by that point, it was too late because individual challenge, she won every single one.
Yeah.
So there was no chance to get her out towards the end. She just got to pluck everyone off how she wanted. And obviously she, had the biggest move of the season in getting me out, blindsiding me. And that was heartbreaking and horrifying and traumatizing. And I'll never get over it, frankly. But yeah, I think she's a huge villain. And even how she talks about this season, her plans, her strategy, everything leading up to it, there really is just kind of this air of evil and malicious intent that she has.
She started planning for her defense the day vacation ended.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think she's probably still my betting favorite to win this season.
Yeah.
Even though I think a repeat's unlikely, just in terms of opportunities to get her out are going to be very limited.
Because she's so skilled physically
Mhm.
and intellectually.
Yeah. She's going to be a challenge beast again.
Yep.
She's going to find advantages and use them well. She's going to form alliances and use them well.
Yeah.
How many other people are going to have that many aspects of their game lined up?
Well, there's nobody that can do all three.
Yeah, and she's sleeping with the host.
I guess